We're going to go live. Star Trek Prodigy is set to drop its first episode in a matter of hours. Discovery wins the big Saturn Awards last night. 2 of them, I think. And it's time for another unboxing or 2. Hello, everybody. You are watching the main viewer. Look at everybody's here. We all made it, you guys. So let's talk about what's going to be happening today. Today we'll be going over the Star Trek news of the week. We'll also be doing a full preview and breakdown of Star Trek Prodigy, which is, again, dropping in just a few hours. Lastly, we'll be unboxing this massive beast. It smells good, too. It smells like space. We'll be unboxing that giant beast. And actually another thing that we got over at the Saturn Awards. But let's introduce everybody. First, our very special guest. They call him Dr. Trek because he knows everything about everything. Larry Nemecek.
I just know where to look it up. That's what I do know about everything. Hey, Ryan. Hey, everybody. Thanks for letting me sit in this week. This is fun. It's Prodigy week. Yay.
It's a big, big day. And thank you very much for joining us. Also, our co-hosts today, the star of The Seventh Rule, Deep Space Nine, and a Capri Sun commercial, Cirroc Lofton.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey.
Little McDonald's commercial. A lot of commercials in the early days of my acting.
What was the one where you were like playing basketball and then your body's like morphed into like candy or cereal or something?
Yeah, that was the Capri Sun commercial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was it. And a lot of people asked me how I did that, and I just told them it was good acting.
I was morphing before Odo, you say?
Yeah, brothers before Odo. Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Also, she's a member of the Seventh Rule team, a host of Virtual TrekCon, and an actress, by the way, Melissa Longo.
Hello.
Yay.
I actually read this interesting piece earlier today about William Shatner. I read that he recited verse on his way up to space. And everyone who was with him said it was poetry in motion.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. We're going to be out of a job pretty soon, Cirroc.
That was it. That was a good setup.
Also, we have writer, producer, director, cameraman extraordinaire. He also handles all the website and graphic design goodies for Virtual TrekCon, Mr. Scotty F. Baker.
Hoy hoy, it's a G. Yeah, that's all right. Thanks for having me. It's good to be back on the show.
We also I'm going to do an introduction anyway, because we have a 6th person who's not here yet, but will be joining us. The Saturn Awards are next on. No, you know what? I'm going to save it because I got a really good joke and she's got to be here for it. Anyway. Anyway.
Really good. All right.
Yeah, for once. Anyway,
yeah, save that. You got to save that.
You got a thing? You got a bit?
Yeah, probably not. Real quick, before we get nose deep into this, some quick news. Virtual TrekCon had its 4th Sunday Minicon a couple days ago, 3 days ago, and it was amazing. Thank you to everybody that participated. And this coming Sunday will also be awesome. It's going to be our big Halloween Sunday Minicon extravaganza. Put the kids to bed. Do what you got to. Wait, no, it's going to be the middle of the day. Just enjoy it with your kids, I guess. Anyway.
Make them take it.
You know, your sound in my ear went out for a second, so I heard you say make them take a app, and I thought my head went in the total different direction.
What app would you recommend? Yeah.
They're busy taking an app. Anyway.
Nice.
Okay, and Michael, we see you. Medallion, Anne Marie, Gaylinda, Mohammed, hello, Scott Jensen, Kimber Spores, Linda, and everybody. Tanya Dash, we see all of you. Thanks for joining in and having fun with us. I see some Michelle Paradise shouts out. Anyway, we got a lot to get to, but first, we have some serious business to discuss. Everybody knows the story of Helena Hutchins. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Last week, who passed away on set in New Mexico. Our good friend here, Scott Baker, is a friend and colleague of hers, and I was hoping he could tell us a bit about who she was as a person, because we're hearing all this stuff on the news about all, this other stuff. But, I never met her, and I'd love to know. All I see is these pictures of somebody that looks amazing. Looks like she was at the top of her game and was well loved, but maybe you could tell us about her and your adventures with her.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Helena's, she's from the Ukraine, and she came here after doing some other stuff in her life and always wanted to be a cinematographer. She ended up going to AFI, and so got into filmmaking pretty late, but was real determined to succeed. And I met her 2017 on a film project where she was the cinematographer, and I got hired by the producers as a Steadicam operator. And we just kind of instantly clicked. And like a week after that, she called me in for another project, and then I kind of worked nonstop with her ever since. She's really, like I said, really determined, the kind of person who's on set and wants everything to look as good as it can be. And for those who don't exactly know, the role of the cinematographer is to like take the director's vision and make it happen in the camera. And that's with the choice of the camera and the lenses and how the camera moves and the lights, and, making sure that, the scene looks how it's supposed to look. And, you're always kind of under pressure on set to try to keep things moving, but she wanted to spend so much time making everything look perfect. And are we ready to go? And she's like, I just need 5 more minutes. And it was always this thing. And all right, we just got to shoot it. And then you always see there's like a little bit of like, she was almost a little bit let down because she didn't have that extra 5 minutes to make it look perfect, but for her, it was never going to be perfect. But that's what it was for her, was just this like the pursuit of perfection and everything that she did. And she was so determined like that. And on set, she would almost get kind of a little bit stressed out because she was so, working so hard to make everything look good. And that was one of the reasons why I enjoyed working with her. And she would call me up for jobs, and sometimes they wouldn't pay great or something like that, but I would take them because I knew that if I was working with Helena, it was going to be an awesome looking project, and it was worth it. And I knew she was going to go places, and I knew she was going to make great things. And then outside of work, she was, had a great sense of humor and was loving and kind. And she would call me, and I would, pick up the phone thinking that she was calling me to offer me a job, and she would just call to ask how I was doing and see what was going on, and say, hey, you want to meet up for coffee? Because we both lived here in Hollywood. And that's just the kind of person that she was, like a joy to be around, and just, a phenomenal person. And just can't think of enough nice things to say about her. And it's an extremely tragic loss anytime someone dies, but like this especially. And so it's just it's been a tough week dealing with that, seeing pictures that I took of her up in news stories about her and things like that, and finding out all the details and everything. And I there's so many ways that this thing is a tragedy, and one I think is also probably no one will ever see this film that she was working on because of the legal ramifications that are involved with this. I mean it's always possible, but my gut tells me that film won't see the light of day, or at least for a very long time. And I'm sure she put her heart and soul into that, and that it looks fabulous. The last feature that we worked together is called Arch Enemy, and it stars Joe Manganiello. And it's a really, really cool film. It's sort of a sci-fi fantasy about a superhero. It's like a guy who's like lives in downtown, and he's like a homeless guy, and you don't know if he's crazy or if he really is a superhero from another dimension. We shot that here in LA, and I got to work with her, and that was such an amazing project, and looks incredible. And you can find it on all the places that you stream movies. So I would encourage you to watch that film. It's called Arch Enemy. Really, really cool, fun film. If you want to see her work, that's definitely a place to see that. And I'd just like to say there's also a couple memorial funds that were set up in her honor. One is a GoFundMe that goes directly to like her family and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then there was one that was set up as like a like scholarship for upcoming cinematographers over at AFI. And so if you just kind of
Really?
Google her name and stuff like that, the AFI set up a memorial fund for her for that, to
That's great.
use her name for upcoming cinematographers and stuff like that.
So, Anne Marie sent us the link to that GoFundMe. We'll include that in the description box of this video, but I didn't know about that AFI scholarship. That's really cool. We'll definitely add that one too.
Yeah. I would say that one first. I think the one for her family, a lot of people have already given to that, and her husband came out and actually encouraged people to give to the scholarship one. So, but obviously, either one would be great. And it's just, like I said, it's terrible when you lose a friend and a colleague, and then especially under these kind of circumstances, completely preventable. I mean, I don't want to go into the specifics about what happened, but completely preventable. And I just say for anybody who's working in any kind of environment, whether it's a film set or whether it's, but if you don't feel like you're safe, if you feel like something's going on, and the safety of yourself or people around you are compromised, say something and do something. And because this stuff happens because things go on that are unsafe and people don't say something. So I think that's the only thing we can really take away from this.
Here. I think again, without getting too much into the details of it, all of us that have worked on sets or been on sets or been around sets many, many times know, like what you said, it's so unbelievably preventable, this tragedy. And that, I think that's why, I mean, at least for myself, like why it affected me so much, having never met her, is just because there are so many measures that are supposed to prevent this kind of thing. But anyway, again, we don't need to. Yeah, well, that's going to get rehashed a million times.
I was talking to a friend who used to work on like Next Gen and Deep Space Nine and stuff like that. And he was telling me on those sets they have those prop guns, the phasers, and I mean, those things are made of plastic and foam and rubber and stuff like that. But even on those sets, they would treat that like a real gun. And you announce, hey, we're, a gun is coming on set, and they, check it and make sure it doesn't have any bullets in it and it's not going to fire. And that's the kind of procedure that should always take place every time, a weapon comes on set, even if it's supposed to be a fake gun, because you never know, especially when you're working with real guns and guns that look like real guns, that something can so easily get swapped out and be like, oh, I thought this was the fake gun and it's the real gun. And, but yeah, that was something I didn't know about Star Trek, is that, how seriously they even took that, and that's because you just, you draw the line and say, this is what we're going to do every time a gun comes on set, no matter what it looks like, we're going to take that preventative measure,
Well, this is what I was talking about on Tuesdays Live this week, that even on Star Trek, well, you had like the Western shows, or you had the past tense, where you've got the SWAT team coming in at the end to take over the sanctuary district, or you're doing a Western like Fistful of Datas or North Star, but a lot of the alien guns, like there are times they'd come in, they'd have some kind of an effect, even if it was or the squibs that go off, to show somebody's getting hit, even if it's a phaser burn, that might be animated, but the thing so there's a lot of places where they still had to look at safety, whether it was like stunts or props and all that coming together. Everybody had to be in the loop about what's going on.
Yep. So,
Well, Scott, can I ask something real quick? Scott, my thing is, I think like when you're in the hallowed walls of shooting in LA or Toronto or Vancouver or New York or whatever, but since so much shooting now is out in all these states giving tax credits, and there's lots of local talent, I'm not demeaning that, but like, and not to get into it, but some of the issues that were in the IATSE almost strike seem like we're going on there locally, and that there was a crew that walked off because they were concerned about conditions. And not to get into the weeds, but I wonder if some of this is we're sitting here going, my gosh, we've got safety protocols and safeguards and all that. But when you get out in the places where they don't have a real deep well of, tradition and a deep well of that going on, where things might, I mean, it's a good lesson. It's a painful lesson for all the newer realms shooting to, get with the program and don't shortcut things that you never think of shortcutting.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just say real quick. Yeah, I think that's always an issue. And then there's just the whole time is money mentality, and you're working on lower budget productions and things like that. And you can have the most qualified people there, but sometimes they get into this mentality that's like, all right, let's just go. It's like, oh my God, the sun is setting and we got to get this before we lose the light. And we already checked the gun 6 times today and they're bringing it on set again. We don't need to check it again. We just checked it an hour ago, and let's just go. And it's I mean, that kind of mentality I've seen across the board with people who have been working in the industry for 30 years and people who are new, that if you're not careful, you can just easily slip into that. You get lazy with something, and it's, how many times have you done that? People work at, all sorts of jobs where you have safety protocols. You're like, oh, well, today I'm not gonna check the brakes, or I'm not going to check this thing because it was fine yesterday, it's probably fine today, sort of thing, and it's just people think they're saving time and saving money, and obviously that's never an excuse to put somebody's life in danger. So.
Right. Cirroc, you sound like you were going to say something.
I was going to kind of piggyback off of what Scotty was saying about DS9 and the prop masters that we had on our show. They kept very, tight lid on all of their props. Everything was accounted for. When we finished a scene, they would be the first ones to walk up to you and say, I need that phaser back, or that whatever it was, whatever you had in your hand, the pads, the phasers, the scanners, whatever it was. They were the first ones there, and especially when it was a weapon, like a gun, because I remember seeing many guns in their, in their little cabinet display area where they have all their props in their area. So they would have, trays full of all type of revolvers and guns with clips, and but they were also like, don't touch that. You can't touch that. Nobody can, and they were very responsible about gathering those props afterwards. And also before they handed you something, they explained everything to you, even on these like tricorders and things like that. They would open it up for you, say, here, you do this, you press these buttons, you see, and you flip it back like that. And it goes right here into the holster like this. And so there was a whole tutorial, even for like, things that were not dangerous. These are not weapons. These are just actual, just very valuable, well-made props. And they wanted that to ensure that we took care of them and also know how to use them. But there were occasions when we had real guns for flashback episode type things when you go back in the past. And those guns were very well maintained and taken care of, and made sure that they were under these kind of safety protocols and guidelines that they adhere to extremely strictly. A lot of the guys there are super talented at what they do. And so this thing, they take it serious. They know that somebody else's life could be on the line, and they don't want to have that responsibility on them. So they're very careful to ensure that when they hand you something, that it is as they say it is. That's why having this kind of incident is very unfortunate for this particular situation we're talking about. My initial questions were like, why why was somebody who was not in front of the camera, a victim of it? Because I would expect that if a gun went off in the middle of shooting, that it would be another actor in the scene with you who would be the recipient, not somebody who was on the production side of things. So that was kind of strange to me, but as I read the recounts, they explain a little bit of that away. But yeah, it's a tragedy. And it just goes to show you that, how many moving parts there are on the show, how everything matters so much. And especially when you're dealing with life or death type of things, you definitely have to treat that with an extra bit of precaution. Larry, I think you were talking about the location. And to me, the thing that affects this situation location-wise is that when you're on a soundstage filming, you're at Paramount, Warner Brothers, CBS, you're actually at a soundstage. And so the likelihood of you taking that gun and just firing rounds and shooting Coke bottles, is not high. But if you're out in the desert and you're out at a ranch or you're out somewhere, those same guns may, during lunchtime or downtimes end up in people's hands to play around with and shoot, stop signs or whatever. And I think that adds an element.
I think to piggyback off of what Larry was saying too, I think it's because it's not in a place where things are often filmed. Like, I've done a lot of background work in New York City, and everything that you detailed as far as props go, you get handed a empty cup of coffee. They open the cup of coffee and show you that it's empty, and they treat that cup of coffee, that little paper coffee, as gold. They want it back. So it's props across the board, and so to have something as serious as a weapon to go unchecked and not treated as the same as that cup of coffee kind of boggles my mind.
Yeah, that was the big reason why I think why it affected me so much, was just because it's just appalling. To anybody that's been on a set, it's mind blowing, it's baffling, and it's shocking, and you can't really wrap your head around it. But anyway, Scott, I don't know if you had any final thoughts on Helena. Everybody that's watching this, will include both links, but as Scott said, to honor her husband's wishes, lean towards the AFI one, right, Scott?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And check out Arch Enemy. So it's a good film, and I think it gets one if you like sci-fi and superhero kind of stuff. It's not your traditional sort of Marvel superhero kind of movie. It's definitely a darker kind of thing, but it's a cool movie, and I think to see Helena's work.
Great. Okay. So everybody check out those links when this is all over. And now there's really no proper way to segue from that to a children's cartoon, but pretend that we did so eloquently. Yes. Because Star Trek Prodigy is dropping in just a few hours, episode 1 of season 1. And I think it's time to kind of talk about what we know, as far as, let's see, we've got the characters down. And I think, Larry, this is when you're really going to shine for us, because you really do know more about everything than anybody in a lot of ways.
No. Yeah.
It's like, now, keep saying it. So here are the characters. We've got Ella Purnell playing Gwyn, Brett Gray playing Dahl, Jason. Oh man, I should have thought of this before I read his last name. Mantzoukas looks very Greek.
It's good.
Jancom Pog, D. Bradley Baker as Murph, Riley Alazraki as Rock Talk, and Angus Imrie as Zero. Real quick, Scott and Malissa, you guys were at Star Trek Day, and two of these people, Brett and Dee, were there. There may have been others. Larry, you were there too. But I was very impressed. I mean, obviously, when D. Bradley Baker did the voice of Murph, and we actually saw him doing it. It was really weird and shockingly talented that he could just kind of do that crazy sound. So everybody look forward to that sound that he makes. I don't understand how he does it.
Well, that's his thing. That's his, or one of his things. He's really talented, but yeah. He's the veteran of that. That's what this cast is amazing, because even apart from, Janeway and having Kate back in is right. It's pulling back old fans, but that cast, there's everything from is it Riley, the young girl who her dad's in the business and he's a voice actor and producer, but this is her, she's young. Was she 12 something? And then you've got Dee Bradley Baker, who's been around, the block, and you've just got a really good mix of people. They're younger. It's a kid's show, and most of the characters are kids, and adults can do children, teen voices, but if that's their stock, if that's in their wheelhouse. But it's really an interesting mix. And then when you think about all the recurring characters, like the two John Noble is the villain, and then you've got Robert Beltran coming back and playing Chakotay with his own little crew. And I kind of think if it was holograms, they would steal from Janeway's thunder, but maybe it's a scenario if she needs to teach them with more than her, maybe she pops up a Chakotay crew, and or maybe it's some kind of long range, I don't know, but maybe it's a long range communication and they're for real. But they've got Beltran, and they've got all these, they've got what's his name, Daveed Diggs, from Hamilton, and Jason Alexander playing another Tellarite and a Tellarite doctor, and one of the kids is a Tellarite. So I've been griping for years about no Tellarite developed characters, and bang, here's two.
Finally, I didn't. So
Jason Alexander's been listening to you, Larry.
What?
I didn't know he was playing a Tellarite. That's cool.
He's a Tellarite doctor, which is going to be even, it's like worse bedside manner than Picardo. So we'll.
And there was also the lady, I can't remember her name offhand, the lady from The Good Place as well, right? She's cast in this.
Jamila Jamil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Tellarites. Larry, can you tell us a bit about Tellarites and how much they like to argue, so that people, when they are introduced to Junkum Pog, they'll know what to expect?
Yeah, well, I mean...
Oh, actually, you and I played a Tellarite.
I was going to say, yes.
I didn't even make that connection until just now. We played Tellarites together.
We were horrible Tellarites in a dark flashback fragment memory. Yeah. I have the picture of us eating ham pizza as Tellarites, which was kind of strange. Yeah.
Oh, release that photo.
Yeah.
Where is that photo?
I'll have to put that one up. Yeah, that was like that was the Lolani episode on Star Trek Continues. It was a sad flashback. It was, it was an assault memory, but we had fun doing it, and we had nothing to do with the intent, right? We were just acting. We weren't really doing it. No, Tellarites were supposed to be one of the founders of the Federation, and they get even less respect than Andorians do. I mean, Jeff Combs finally, what Armin did for the Ferengi, Jeff Combs did for the Andorians in Enterprise, finally. But they didn't want to do Andorians for a long time, because it was like, oh, they're just solid blue, like the Orions are solid green. But they finally, here's the challenge, make it work, make it look good. But it's like poor Tellarites with the pig noses and everything never got any love until finally in Enterprise. And now the current show, Discovery and Picard, have thrown them in. And there've even been one or two that had some lines, but Harry Judge, that I met a couple of times, he was like the token go-to Tellarite guy, whether it was just background or had some roles, had small roles, but they've never gone to it. So yeah, it's animation, but one of the young kids is a Tellarite. You couldn't tell it quite by looking at him at first. I was wondering, but he's Jaglam Pog. And then to find out that there's another Tellarite character in the Chakotay crew is going to be an adult Tellarite, and he's cool. Starfleet, and this is a kid. So, and I don't know how a Tellarite got in the Delta Quadrant. So that's another thing that's going to be explained somehow. But
Melissa was asking how that he would get in there, and you're going to tell her, right? So
I was counting down. I was waiting for that joke.
Scott Jensen asks,
I won't
Larry,
debate it with you. Yeah.
Scott Jensen asked Larry if you and I argued the entire time. And as you were talking, I hoped and I found the picture.
There we go.
Wow.
So that's Larry on the left, Ryan on the right,
Mhm.
obviously, you guys. And in the middle
Yeah.
was Kevin Frybowers. Is that right?
Boy, it's a good. I'm glad you still have his name. I mean, I can find it. It's in the credits, obviously, but yeah. And we had I had done a Tellurite on phase 2 on the short. They had done a really good one of Mike Westmore's Kevin Haney. Oh, I'm so glad I can remember this. Kevin Haney did the prosthetic face and those hands, and we did kind of a quickie Tellurite face, but those are prosthetic real tri-digit Tellurite hands.
Mhm.
And I brought them, and they couldn't duplicate them for all three of us. So what was it? Or how did we do this? Anyway, I just remember like one of them was splitting really bad. So it's like we had one hand and
Yeah,
we took turns wearing it, or I had it, or anyway, it was like so we'd like the side that was showing is this, like in that picture right there, you notice that like none of our hands are showing except me gesturing at the camera.
Look at, yeah.
we were
one
getting
hand,
by.
another hand.
He
You
had-
got this guy's hand.
He had they had a fresh one for the lead, but the two of us, they didn't do hands for, I think.
Yeah.
Wasn't that what
Movie
it was?
magic.
Yeah.
That's
So
why,
we were like
that's-
passing around the hand to show it off.
That's why Tellurites always have their hands in their pockets.
See,
Wasn't
I
there
thought
a
you were gonna make
Tellurite-
I thought you were gonna make a football joke and say, "Oh, there was a handoff over there."
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And you go right from that to
Malissa.
pigskin, but then we don't. Okay.
Wasn't there a Tellurite in Lower Decks too?
There's been, there was a captain. I love how in Lower Decks they have all these aliens that have totally Earth sounding names. Like the Tellurite's name was Durango. Like, okay. It's like the Andorian Jennifer, it's like, okay.
Yes.
It's just the texture of the show. But yeah, there have been some Tellurites. There was a Tellurite bar owner when they got in the Andorian, when they were playing Domjot. To me, one of my favorite lines of the whole year on Lower Decks is when the Tellurite, but they're having the fight, and off screen you kind of hear the Tellurite bar owner said, and they're playing Domjot, right? And he says, I just had that table rejotted.
Yes, I loved it.
Yeah.
And
do
yes,
remember that.
Anne-Marie, I was thinking about the Australian Tellurite too.
Yes.
She
Oh,
mentioned
yeah.
in the
That actually had
comments.
the big featured bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Australian Tellurites.
Oh, right, with the Gamados and the Magados and the
Yes,
Tomatos.
yes.
He didn't last
Okay.
long. Yeah. Little faker.
Hey, a quick thing to mention too, Cirroc and I will be reviewing on the 7th rule every Prodigy episode. And so Cirroc's studying up on I could see the way like you're intently studying everything that's going on.
Oh yeah, I'm studying.
And our first
He's
guest
making notes.
tomorrow is Bonnie Gordon, who does the voice of the ship's computer on Prodigy. She also did scratch vocals for the Janeway character and for the Gwyn character as well. So she'll have a lot to tell us about. Everybody check that out. 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, Prodigy. And also check out Prodigy. What else do we know? I mean, those are the characters.
Well, I think it's we all keep talking about like a kid's show, and a lot of people were mistaking Lower Decks being animated for a kid's show. And then there are a couple of scenes people go, whoa, I wouldn't let my 5-year-old watch that. And that's a good thing. Fine. But Prodigy really will be aimed for younger kids, 8, 10, 12, whatever. But I'm sure they're making it, 2-tiered where Trek fans, adults, their parents can sit down and watch. And they're making it canon. It's not like it's a blow-off show, so people should, watch it and keep up with it. But they're not going to dumb it down for kids. I mean, I'm really, and the Hageman brothers have done this already. I think they attract, like really good classic animation can attract people on different age levels. Just because you say it's a kid's show, it's not just for kids. So
Beltran doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that would do something dumbed down.
Yeah. And Jason Alexander and Devi. I mean, I'm paying more attention here to the secondary cast than I am the main cast, but they're all good. They'll all, it'll all have that. At this point, CBS and Paramount Plus and poor Nickelodeon, who I think was going to be the original, flagship, and then after the merger, they kind of lost They probably put lots of, they still own it, but they're taking like an initial back seat, it feels like, until it's made a first run, I guess is the plan now. But they're not going to pour tons of money in and do a franchise, series if it's not up to snuff. So
I think that.
Go ahead, Scott.
Well, I was going to say, I think that might be the thing. You said about adults versus kids is that, the kids are getting into the new characters that are played by younger cast, and they're younger people, on the adventure, and then the adults can get into seeing Janeway again and seeing Chakotay again, and catching up on their stories and relating to the adult legacy characters and stuff like that. So it's it's got a neat dynamic that way about it, I think.
Looking for Easter eggs.
That being said, Larry, do you think there will be more adult items or kid items in this box when we crack it open in a little bit?
Well, since I cracked mine open and we just finally put the video up today. So,
so you've got an idea that it's.
I think it'll be a mix, just like the series. How about that?
Okay. And Michael Kenyon Rosenberg said, "How about the Telluride?" I missed it. What about the Telluride Film Festival? I don't know what that is, but I'm guessing maybe he means Telluride, which is a city in Colorado. Am I right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what he's, yes. Yeah.
Good reference.
That sounds like a lower deck. Yeah. Mike needs to do that on lower decks. Well, we're Captain's Log. We're en route to the Telluride Film Festival. Yeah.
Don't encourage him. Cirroc, what are we looking forward to most about this new show?
I just want to see how it goes. I'm not really looking forward to much. I want to see how it plays out.
He likes to let it unfold in front of him with no expectations.
Yeah, I don't want to put any expectations on it. The one thing that I can say I see as a difference is that the contrast between the other animated show right now with Lower Decks being more focused on comedy and more about character growth and development. And this show seems to be about adventure to me and exploring. So I think the focal point is going to be more what traditional Star Trek in that sense, right? So they're going to give us some of that. I the opening credits where they're or whatever they released as far as visuals. I think it's the opening credits, but it looks pretty awesome. The music looks good. The quality of the animation looks good. It does kind of take you on a journey to make you feel like you're traveling through space. So that is they're getting that, nailing that to me. But then the question will be, how do the stories unfold and if I'm interested in them? But as far as visually, as far as the music components, as far as, putting packages together, it's got all the right indicators. I just want to see if I care about the characters, if the stories are interesting to me, because they're going to be removing a lot of the humor that Lower Decks has that keeps it moving so fast. So this will be, I'm anticipating a slower movement as well. So we'll see how it plays out.
Here's a question for everybody in the chat. This is really exciting for me personally. What do you guys think? Who do you guys think will be Cirroc's favorite character by the end of the first season? Because he seems a little skeptical, but I bet there's going to be a couple characters that are going to really shine to him. Is he going to be a Murphophile? Who's he going to really like? And dude, that theme song blew me. I think it's so good. I think it's really so good. And I really love the animation colors, how they focus a lot on like the magentas and the turquoises. And yeah, I agree, Cirroc. It seems like it's adventure and wonder and excitement. The things that Jedi don't go for, but we do.
Like,
right,
I think the trailer is really exciting, and it makes me excited to watch the show. What I hope is that because it is a kid show, that they don't dumb it down, because they're focused at kids, because kids are smarter than a lot of adults give them credit for. So I hope that they keep the storytelling fresh and rich, because kids can handle that. So but so far I'm excited to see what they're gonna bring.
What do you think, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think I'm excited to see what happens with like the Janeway and Chakotay and stuff like that, and see. I think I'd mentioned before in one of the earlier shows when we were talking about it that it might be a chance for them to develop the Chakotay character a bit more, that he didn't get some justice he didn't get from Voyager. Obviously, it's not Chakotay centered show, but to be able to bring these characters in and maybe give them a little bit of stuff that they didn't get to have. Hopefully they do that instead of just bringing him in to say a couple goofy lines and then they cut to something else. It would be cool to see them, maybe like have an episode, right? This is the episode where we focus on Chakotay, and then here's another episode where we, bring in this other legacy character and bring some backstory or development, like what happened after Voyager, in any of that kind of stuff. That's what I'm kind of looking forward to.
We got a couple minutes left before I know Scott and Cirroc, you guys have to go. But again, as usual, Dr. Muhammad Noor steals the show and says that Cirroc's favorite character will obviously be Cirroc Talk.
Oh, yeah, Rock Talk.
I guess mine will be Zero.
Oh,
I know.
Rock Talk. Yes, I like that.
Okay. And then also
Ryan
said,
feverishly looking for puns in there.
I was like, is there anything else? What else do we have? Kimber Spores says Murph and Gwyn. Now Chuck also says
what
Rock
is
Top.
Murph? What is that character?
He is
Blob.
Q would love him and call him gelatinous goo. What was that line he said in All Good Things, Larry? In this
talking about this
pond
primordial
of goo. Primordial goo or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't know what he is. I don't think yet. I don't think there's a description for him. Does anybody know? He's a Yaphet, I think.
I was gonna say it's the big crossover with the Orville.
yeah, the Orville.
Yeah.
Who would do such a thing? You guessed it, Frank Stallone.
I thought it was a beluga at first, and I thought they were really overdoing it with the belugas. What's with all the belugas in Star Trek? No, we'll see, I guess. That's a gelatinous blob. We don't know what it is at this point.
I hope they tell us. Anyway, there's some people in the chat I know got my Frank Stallone reference. That was, I know Michael did. That was on Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live. Norm Macdonald, who played Yaphet, would always make that joke and say, who could do such a thing? You guessed it. And he'd show a picture of Frank Stallone and say, Frank Stallone. So I was giving a shout out to our buddy, Norm Macdonald. Anyway, it is.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to sign off now. But thanks for having me and an opportunity to talk about Helena and everything like that. And look forward
Thanks
to
for sharing that, Scott.
I look forward to talking about the Prodigy after we've all seen it. And so
nerd out on it. Thanks, Scott.
Yes. Live long and prosper, y'all.
What was the name of that movie again? You said Arch Enemy?
Arch Enemy is it. Yeah, I think I have a here's the, I don't know if we can see, this is the,
wait, hang on, let me,
oh, it was just there. Where'd it go? Okay. Yeah, I'll send you this picture. I know you can't, but yeah, it's Arch Enemy is the name of the show. So
cool.
Movie. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Right, thanks very much,
Take
Scott.
care.
And Cirroc, we
All right,
know
Scott.
you have to run as well.
Yep.
So everybody, you know where to follow him, you know where to check him out, and go find his Capri Sun commercial on YouTube. It's there. It's there. I found it once.
Oh,
You found it. Oh, wow.
I'm gonna look it up.
Gosh, nothing comes away anymore. I was trying to get rid of that. I thought it was like one of your like a bad credit, 7 years. And
You obviously haven't paid off enough people, Cirroc. You obviously
I haven't paid off enough people. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for letting me hang with you guys. I'll see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
Bye.
Yeah.
All right. Party's
Oh.
over, everybody. Time to get back to business.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Larry,
I thought
do you
I was
have any-
ducking out early, but okay. No, I
You
got
will
I got
be.
another 10, 15 minutes here. Yeah.
Oh, we're still going to squeeze every last morsel of
Mhm.
information out of you with Prodigy.
I don't
Unless
doubt
if you've given all of it, then we can change channels and talk about last night's Saturn Awards, right?
Mhm.
So the Saturn Awards are like these genre awards, for like sci-fi and horror and fantasy and all these really cool things that nerds love growing up, but that the Emmys and Grammys, or what are those things? The Tonys, Oscars, I don't know. Those
Right.
things, they don't usually cover those as much, except for that year that Lord of the Rings, knocked it all out of the park. So
The Saturns try to make up for everything else being so damn mainstreamitis, all this talent that's being ignored over here in all the genre.
Right.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Some respect.
I'm looking at the website right now. It looks like they have not updated it to show the winners.
Oh,
But they did, Melissa?
Well, I have a list of winners right here. I did, but I don't know where that went. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
So check this out. So first I'm going to show this goodie bag. Here's this goodie bag that they gave all of us real quick. Actually, we'll open that later. Right now, we got to just say the fact of the matter is that Discovery kicked ass. Okay. I got to sit at the table, at the Star Trek table with our buddies, Doug Jones, with Michelle Paradise, executive producer and writer of Discovery, also Issa Briones of Picard, and Doug Jones won Best Supporting Actor, which is awesome. Everybody loves Doug Jones. Discovery won Best Sci-Fi Series. Michelle Paradise, who I'd never met before, is actually very funny. She was very Tig Notaro-esque in her acceptance speech, very like comedic, dry humor.
I have not interviewed or sat and talked to her at any length, but her background is in improv before she went on, So yeah, I've been really she's always seems like she's really humble and down to earth and self-deprecating when you see her. In fact, that day at the what annoys me sometimes at Star Trek Day, they had her and several of the Discovery cast there. And I think she said one thing the whole time. They kept talking. They wanted to talk about the season, and it was all, and nothing against actors. But I kept thinking, I was looking around going, you got the executive producer right there. Ask her something. And they never, it was always about the actors, So I was like, meh. But I'm really impressed by her.
They just don't get it like we do, They don't get it.
She's sitting right there. They never ask anything. It was insane.
The writers
why
say
did
the
you
most
have her?
interesting things.
Yeah. Well, there it starts with them, but anyway.
And another thing that won't show up on the stat sheet that Melissa, I think, has pulled up is that, like with everything else in the world, it turned into a Doug Jones love fest. Okay. Half the people up on stage were like, oh my God, Doug Jones is here. Thank you so much to Doug Jones. And the horror people that would win, they'd be like, thank you for this award. And Doug Jones is in the, it was just like everybody, it was like this great Doug Jones love fest. Bruce Campbell was also the host. So there was a lot of Bruce Campbell love, and well-deserved. Also in Star Trek news, Christopher Lloyd was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award. And Larry, you know why that's Star Trek news, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, he was Scrooge in Star Trek 3. Yeah. Absolutely. Sure.
But yeah, Back to the Future is the big one. But yeah. And
he was Scrooge 2 years before he was Doc Brown.
Yes, but he was Doc Brown longer, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. He had yeah. But I'm just saying.
No, that's two fantastic roles, and he was so fun and adorable and pleasant on stage during his acceptance speech. Really cool. But then just to finish up on Doug Jones, when he's walking out there and everybody's mobbing him for pictures, and you realize that Discovery has such a gem, to have this horror icon that's now a sci-fi icon. That's big. And I think this is the second year in a row that Discovery's won best sci-fi. Well, second Saturn Awards in a row because they didn't have one last year.
Right. This is the, and then I think, I mean, caught my eye because they were sharing, Instagramming their photos and socializing. But I think Patrick won also for lead actor.
Best best lead actor.
I think that may have happened when I stepped out because I did wonder. I was like, I thought I saw Picard. Patrick Stewart nominated for something. I missed one of the things, and that must have been it. So he did win, huh? I didn't know that.
And I mean, I wasn't there, but I haven't seen his face plastered everywhere. So I'm betting maybe he wasn't there.
He was not. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that wasn't a flash bulb in your face like seeing Michelle and Doug and you in some of the pictures. Yeah.
Malissa, can you confirm or deny the winners?
Yeah. Best actor on television, Patrick Stewart for Picard.
Yes, indeed. Damn it.
Yeah.
And I think Sinequel was nominated for actress and has won before, but not last night.
Yeah, best actress went to the woman from Outlander. Such a good show.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a great show. I don't know how to say her name, so I'm not gonna try. Catriona Balfe. I don't know.
Well, that's really cool. I didn't know that about Patrick Stewart. What great news. Yeah. I had missed that.
So Star Trek's won 3 last night.
Yeah.
Right. Very, very cool. And Star Wars won a bunch too for Mandalorian and Episode 9. I'm like, how far back does this thing reach if Episode 9 just won 2 things? Didn't that come out like?
Well, it's this is probably a delay, pandemic delay.
Yeah.
I mean, the nominations were from March, and then that's a year back. So.
Well, I think they included from July 15th, 2019 to November 15th, 2020. So.
But didn't it come out before that? Maybe I'm wrong. It just feels like a long time ago. Time has no meaning anymore.
Having a little time-space dilation back there.
Because Aaron and I watched that in the theaters. Yeah.
When?
Probably when it came out. So, and he was still around. So.
Right. It just feels like it was longer ago.
Like 2018. It's the before times, Ryan.
Yeah.
Anything with the pandemic. Yeah.
BC before COVID.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it doesn't feel sooner. It feels later. It feels like longer ago. I guess I'm saying that wrong. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So Saturn Awards was awesome. I'm just going to pull out the things that they gave us. Looks like a cool comic book. Vengeance of something or other.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a question. What did they have for dinner?
Well, I got the vegetarian cauliflower option. What's this, Larry?
That's the documentary that Mark and Scott Mance and several people are working on that. In 1982, greatest geek year ever.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I did
Mark A. Altman, yeah.
Yes. No idea how much is there. They've talked to 1 billion people because their list of subjects was a mile long.
Dark Shadows.
Dark Shadows Masters. What's his name?
Is that a documentary?
Mike Flanagan, the director that does all the horror stuff. He named this as like what taught him how to write. What's this one?
It's upside down. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Nice.
The soundtrack? What was that?
Laws of Attraction. What is this? This is like.
That's
like
soundtrack.
Somebody's cleaning out their CD and their DVD closet. Here's the
totally.
It's like a garage.
These came through a time vortex. Here, it's sci-fi. Yeah.
What's this one?
They're clearing out.
Stargirl. Stargirl won something too.
Yeah.
I think it was best young actress or something.
Yeah.
And lastly, The Flash.
Oh.
Is that
it's not very good. if it's not very good, I heard they're going to change the name to The Flush.
A lot of people liked it. However.
Oh, we saved the best for last. Here, check it out. A Rick and Morty.
Oh, yeah.
Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons. Wow, that's awesome.
Wait, is that a module to play? Is that a scenario, or is that
And
or a coloring
Dryad,
book?
of course.
Mhm.
Anyway. All right. Well, Larry. Oh, there's candy in here too, or something.
Ooh.
Or chapstick.
And you won't share that either, I bet. Okay.
Ugh.
Oh no, it's soap. We can share, Larry. We could share the soap
Hand
together
it.
if you want.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so Larry, any final thoughts on the Saturn Awards? I'd never been before. I didn't know too much about the lore. I just knew that it was like the big hoopla about all of the cool nerd culture.
I had it. Yeah. No, I mean, they've been around for a long time. They focused on the genre shows and give a lot of talent, a lot of, creative talent. The guilds is, I mean, the different writing and directing and acting, but also, makeup and visual effects and all those. And it's just kind of a specialized version of all the mainstream award, Oscars and Emmys and Golden Globes and all that. But a lot of talent is recognized, and it specializes in all the genre, sci-fi and horror and fantasy, and gives a lot of people recognition. They've got one more thing they can put on their trophy shelf, but otherwise get ignored by everything else mainstream, since they ignore. Lord of the Rings was a breakthrough, and very rarely does anything sci-fi. I remember everybody of my generation was shocked when Star Wars was nominated for Best Picture, and we were all pissed. It was obviously the biggest movie of the year, and that's old school, like the Oscars. They're still trying to reform the Oscars, but that was just fighting over genres and ignoring all the new stuff bubbling up. Has a Marvel superhero movie ever done? Well, they have in the tech and the creatives, but as far as
Right.
yeah. They're still
That's
fighting.
True. I don't think they've ever won anything as far, or even been. Are they ever even nominated for
Only for
best actor?
No. I don't think any one of them have.
To 10 nominees now, and even then they barely creep in. So.
Yeah. Like Larry said, it's always the tech stuff or makeup.
And on the Emmys, Star Trek is always, Star Trek finally got nominated last year. Next Generation, they got a series nomination.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Leonard, back in the 60s, I think Leonard was nominated for Best Actor or Best Supporting Actor once or twice. But
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Larry, we know you have to go because you've got another show to do. Because you're extremely busy.
My guest night on Portal tonight. We're gonna have we're gonna have Melinda Snodgrass. So
she wrote Measure of a Man, right?
Measure of the Man, and had 2 interesting years. She bridged Maury Hurley's last year and Michael Pillar's first year.
Wow.
And then left. So, but anyway, so we'll always have Paris, and she'll always have Measure of a Man. So anyway, looking forward to that, and I need to get off with that. But thanks for having me in, Ryan. It's been good to join you, and Melissa, it's been good to join you guys and those other guys.
Absolutely.
Good to see you again, Larry.
Everybody that's listening in, tell them where they can find you.
LarryNemecek.com is a great hub, and Larry Nemecek's Trekland on most socials, including YouTube. Please go like and subscribe. All my 2 live shows pop up there if you don't catch them live. Tuesdays, Trekland Live, and then Life Support Live on Saturdays with Dr. Ali. We geek out on Star Trek and have a mental health, daily living kind of subject too. But my big thing coming up is my every anniversary year in Portal 47, which is my backstage, subscriber package. Every anniversary, we have an open house and invite the world in and do some sampling. We have a little mini roundtable, but we always have my biggest guest of the year I have for the open house. And we finally put the things together, and I know he's done some other interviews, but Mike McMahon's going to be our open house guest.
Hey,
that's November 17th. So we do that. We have door prizes. We draw, and I actually mail it to people. So it's a big deal. It's my big annual thing in Portal for the public. And that's November 17th. And people should go click in at LarryNemecek.com and follow the link and make sure and be there.
Awesome.
Cool.
Wow, that's really cool. Mike McMahon's awesome.
Yes,
job.
yes. He's going to get the Trekland treatment though from me, so he knows. We're going to get into the roots. We're going to get in the deep stuff and the roots and have a lot of fun with that stuff. That some of these things, like what's the subject of the week? You know, it goes zoom right by, but we're going to back up and look at you.
Would definitely
meteorologist Katie is here, but
Hello.
before we give her the big introduction, Larry, thanks for joining in.
Yes,
we will catch you real soon, and good luck with your next show.
Thanks, guys and gals. And hi and bye, Katie. I think I followed you recently. It's awesome to see you.
Great timing.
Great
Yes.
to see you too. Ah.
Okay, guys. Have fun. Trek well, everybody, as we say.
Thanks.
You too.
So, Katie, I've been saving this whole time. The Saturn Awards are next on her Doppler radar. 2-time Emmy Award nominee, meteorologist Katie.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Thank you. How's it going?
Awesome.
Right.
Nice.
So
Sorry
everybody
I'm
at
late.
home-
We've been streaming for 2 hours and I'm just like, I gotta go.
What were you streaming?
Avatar: The Last Airbender podcast.
Very
Oh,
nice.
wow.
And tell everybody what your shirt says.
Yes, it's choose your captain video game style. And I always I'd go with Janeway and Picard and maybe Archer, but that's just me. So, and Cisco and Kirk. I can't choose. That's why I let the shirt choose.
Very cool.
Aw.
All right. So, and Larry, Tanya Dash says good. Oh, he's gone. But Tanya Dash says good night, Larry. I should be
Bye.
quicker on those reads.
Bye, Larry. That was terrible, Michael says.
I know.
Not
I know.
worth it.
Oh,
Oh, he's talking about the joke.
yeah. Oh, I knew what he meant. Right.
Aw.
But a lot of people are saying hello.
Aw.
Stephanie K of her podcast NX7062 says hello. Michael is being mean. Kimber Spore says that shirt is epic. Medallion loves the shirt. Gaylenda loves the shirt. Medallion picks Cisco. Muhammad says awesome shirt, Katie. Glenn Iverson
Hey.
says Kirk is always my first choice for captain, probably because I'm old. His words, not mine. All right. So what's next? What do we have next on the agenda, guys? I think this is it. So Katie,
Unveiling?
I know we're talking about Prodigy and we talked about
Oh, yeah.
the Saturn Awards, and now it's time. What are you most looking forward to with the new Star Trek Prodigy series that's dropping in a few hours, Katie?
I am so looking forward to all of the new fans that it is going to bring in, hopefully. Because
yeah.
I'm the younger generation. I'm the kid of the group. And now we actually will have kids of the group. So I'm not going to feel too young. Like, just think of how many kids are going to come across this by accident or to just be scrolling through and be like, oh, what's this new show? That's how I got into it. And so it makes me so happy to know that there's going to be a whole new generation that gets into it because of this.
Yeah. Or the new generation that's coming up right now that are being introduced by their parents, but now they have something for them too.
Yeah, it's their own little corner of Trek
Yeah.
that all of us
This thing
adults
is
are going to
so big.
infiltrate.
This thing
It's
is so big. I don't
huge.
know if I can do this, but you guys keep talking. I'm going to try.
It's huge. Wow.
Oh,
I love these boxes. They're always filled with
Okay.
such fun
So-
stuff.
Everybody at home, I'm opening up this giant box. This, I thought this was a cool comic book, but I was wrong. It is a coloring book.
Oh,
nice.
For all your coloring book needs,
that's so cute.
they know me so well.
Oh, did
I'm
they
definitely
put
gonna-
crayons in there?
Yeah, there better be.
It smells like alcohol in here.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Kimber. Yeah. Also, Captain Nog should be on the shirt.
Yes.
totally. This is a planet maker. Dr. Muhammad Noor would know more about this, but that's
A
cool.
planet
A planet
maker.
maker. Make high bouncing moon alien worlds, planets with rings. Wow.
Oh, sounds like a bouncy ball
The
maker.
craft thing.
This is not just for kids, everybody. Adults can have a lot of fun with this. I'll just bet. Look at
Ooh. Oh, it's like, yes, it's like the kinetic clay. Ah, that's fun. And
Kinetic
it does
clay,
bounce.
really? I don't know that
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Fun.
stuff. Awesome.
And it's squishy and fun feeling.
Fun feeling. And this, you're right. Yeah. Colored
Yay.
pencils.
Okay,
Nice.
at least they thought of the pencils.
Moon cheese that everybody loves.
Yes.
Oh,
Yum.
nice little snack while you're coloring in your book. They've thought of it all.
Yeah.
Is this cereal?
This saves lives. It's got blueberries in it.
They better hope
Yeah.
no one chokes
It's-
on it, otherwise their statement's a lie.
Well, it saves lives if you're hungry. So
Well,
it's
hey,
a
blueberries are very good for you.
blueberry
It's a
cereal.
ration pack. There you go.
Oh wow, this is a big box.
Blueberries are very good for you.
I love it when you
Um,
freeze them and then turn them into ice cream.
Oh, I love frozen blueberries.
Ooh.
So good. Like frozen grapes too.
Oh my, I haven't tried that yet.
So
Yeah,
good.
frozen grapes is
especially
what
in
I've
the
done. That's
summer.
delicious.
Oh,
All right,
Yeah,
anybody at home,
summer.
tell us how you feel about frozen blueberries and frozen grapes. Pick one.
I know someone who does frozen mangoes and mixes milk in and makes like
Oh.
just the most vibrant colored ice cream you've ever seen.
Oh, cool. Check it
Yum.
out. A
oh.
Janeway mug.
Oh.
Boy, she has
Her
very
legs
long
are
legs in
lo-
this show.
Yeah.
right?
Holy
Man
cow!
alive.
Her legs
How
are
far do
super
those legs
long.
go? They go all the way, Ensign.
Yeah. Hey, it's appropriate they put it on the coffee mug.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it comes
isn't
with-
Kate kind of petite?
I don't know, but it
Maybe
comes
those
with
are the legs Kate
hot
wishes.
chocolate, Ghirardelli hot chocolate, yum, and a
Yum.
gigantic marshmallow. Maybe that's a Murph mellow.
Hold on. Oh, how are you gonna do that? You're just gonna plop it in.
And then lastly, a nice sweater.
Ooh.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, it's long sleeve.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Subtle.
awesome.
Huh.
Oh, but it's pretty dope.
Wow.
Awesome. Great
So
work.
not only do you have food
Prodigy.
and coloring books, but now you're gonna be the coolest looking kid on the playground, and it's just gonna be great.
And but thanks very much to Paramount Plus and the good people over there. They always, what's cool about that is that they never send the same stuff. You know what I mean? Like if they always sent
Yeah.
the same stuff, but then just kind of like reskinned it or put like a Prodigy stamp on the Discovery candle or whatever, you know. But everything's always different and very creative and very cool. And boy, I can't wait to use these coloring pens and my planet maker. This is going to be great.
You're gonna have to do a whole new stream
Yes.
where you just show you doing crafts.
Well,
I think
talk
Melissa's going
about
to put
stress relief. What?
Melissa's going to put these to work. I think she's going to put these to good use. The planet makers or the paint or something.
There you go.
Hmm. Yeah.
So anyway, we got a couple minutes left. That was a big grand opening. I'm worn out. Katie, do you have any final thoughts on Prodigy? We started to get your answer from that, but then we got distracted by colors and stuff.
Yeah, it's okay. That always happens with me. I'm just excited. Like I said, I grew up in the generation that didn't really have Trek. J.J. Abrams' Trek was like the first introduction to it. And so being able to see how they're going to go about introducing a whole different demographic to Trek, it'll be interesting to see the workings behind the scenes of it. That's one of the things that I'm super into, like with Lower Decks, knowing what goes behind the scenes with animation and the voice actors. It adds like almost a whole nother show behind the scenes to expand on. And I'm just, to have content makes me happy. They could be sitting on the bridge for an hour just staring at the viewer and I'd be okay.
I was just getting my trivia question ready for a few minutes from now. What are you looking at, Melissa? Are you looking at how many people have picked blueberries over grapes?
No,
And,
I was responding
J.R.
to
Poole
Gilbert.
mentioned whiskey.
Well, I know Mohammed would say grapes because the blueberries could kill him. So,
Whoa. Yeah, but our buddy Saru loves blueberries. So
Yeah.
1-to-1 there.
Well, yeah,
Frozen
only
prunes?
because of allergies. I'm sure Mohammed would love blueberries if he wasn't allergic.
Oh, true.
I hear a kitty.
Yes, this is my cat mate, Rocket. He loves to meow at the door.
Oh,
Who doesn't?
I got little Doppler, but she's just out of reach.
Aw.
Might scoop her up. She has grown like a weed.
So
Yeah.
I've got a question for you guys, and I don't know the answer to this.
Oh,
I don't know if anybody in the chat does. If you do in the chat, let us know. How many episodes of Prodigy will there be? I'm assuming 10, right? But
yeah, but it's a
My
Nick
guess,
show.
10 to 12 is my guess. But I don't know if that's.
it's a
have-
half-hour show, so they might combine some things or do something. I really don't know. And I don't know if anybody does know. Oh, Scott Jensen says 47. He's probably right
Total?
because it's the fun Star Trek number.
Oh,
Oh.
I like
Out of
that
my
one.
head.
The season will be 10 episodes in total, with the rest premiering
Okay.
each individual week. Okay,
I guess we should have Googled. You're right, Katie.
got you. I got
I
you.
was just about to IMDb it, but you beat me to it.
Had multiple browser tabs. Just
Okay.
Medallion made a very naughty guess as to
I
how many there
know.
will be.
I was like, wow.
the
Medallion.
children's show.
Wow.
Michael says 11. Anne Marie says 10.
11 and
Linda-
a half, Michael says.
Oh, Michael
Yeah.
likes to be an instigator, doesn't he?
Yep. That's Michael, everybody.
Oh, yes, that memory alpha.
Okay. So I think that's about it. We can close the door on Prodigy, because Prodigy, look, I love those colors behind you, Katie. And I know it's not a Prodigy thing, but those are the colors that they're using
Yeah.
in the spacescapes or whatever they are. So let's tell everybody where they can find you online, Melissa. Tell us where they can find you, where they can buy your wares and such.
You can buy my wares at walkingartmadebymelissa.com. You can also find me online at most of the the trifecta of social media, I guess that's the thing. Twitter and Instagram and the other one, the Facebook.
The other one.
The other one, the Facebook. And also anything involved with the Seventh Rule podcast, anything to do with BTC, wonderful universe that it is, and YouTube.
Right. Also YouTube.
And also the YouTube.
Katie, where can everybody go find you and support you?
Totally. So I am on the YouTube as well. So many random fandoms, which is so true. I'm all over the place with my fandoms right now. But I'm also really active on Twitter at weather_Katie. Same thing for TikTok. And then I'm also on Instagram, but it's mostly cat pictures. So if you like that,
Yes.
same thing, weather_Katie.
Nice. Very good. Okay.
Oh,
So
yes, Michael. I'm sorry. Just to interject, Michael is right. And often on falling tower.
and
Oh, there you
often
go.
on, often wrong falling tower, often wrong Sung.
Oh,
Is that Doppler?
This is Radar. Doppler is currently sitting on a broomstick that I have out for my Halloween costume,
Ouch.
which is actually really cute.
Aw.
What a
So
cutie.
cute.
Adorable.
Everybody that's listening in,
Fussy Betty,
Katie's holding
Fussy
up her
Betty.
baby alligator.
Yes.
With the
He's
fuzzy
also
belly.
about to step on the keyboard, so that I was worried I might have blipped out for a second. And he just knocked over a cup. He doesn't like this.
Okay, so it is time for the Star Trek Day
Yay.
trivia question of the day. This is what everybody's waiting for. Get ready. Take a sip of your beverage because here it comes. What original Star Trek actor appeared in the pilot episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation? No spoilers. This one's too easy.
I was gonna say that.
Is it A, Nichelle Nichols, B, Leonard Nimoy, C, DeForest Kelley, or D, William Shatner? What original Star Trek actor appeared in the pilot episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation? I feel like everybody's going to know this one. Is it
Hope.
Nichelle, Leonard, DeForest, or William? Now, real quick, while everybody's marking in their answers, and they're all the same answers, surprisingly. Oh my God, that cat is adorable too. What a little cute kitty.
Gosh.
Oh my goodness
gosh.
gracious.
Oh, the ears.
Oh yeah, they're too big for her head.
There's
I should have done her
Uh,
Star Trek name because she has like the insignia on her chest.
Yeah, she on her chest. I
Yes,
see
she
it.
does. Oh my gosh.
Would have worked.
Wow, cute. Okay. So here we go.
Too cute.
This is what you have to look forward to, everybody, this week. The seventh rule, 2 days ago on Monday, just released the full episode of Deep Space Nine, season 5, episode 21 review, Children of Time, with writer Ethan Kalk. That is awesome. You can find that right now. We'll include that in the description box below. You can go check that out, Children of Time with Ethan Kalk, the writer of that awesome episode. Tomorrow, Cirroc and I will be reviewing the new Prodigy episode that drops tonight with Bonnie Gordon, who is the voice of the ship's computer. She also did scratch vocals for the lead character Gwyn and for Catherine Janeway.
Ooh,
Then
nice.
on Sunday, thanks, Malissa. People are going to be like, there's an owl back there. So on Sunday, we have our Sunday mini-con Halloween extravaganza with our VTC2 video, the perfect video for Halloween, Making a Cardassian with Tom Supernant and Tracy Coco. That is a really cool video edited by Scott G. Baker, I think he said. And so Tom Supernant, who is an Emmy Award winning makeup effects artist, will be turning Tracy Coco into a Cardassian. Everybody knows and loves Tracy Coco because she played Lieutenant J in like 40 episodes of Next Generation. She's been a bunch of different aliens on a bunch of different Star Trek shows, but never a Cardassian until the making of this video. Then Falling Tower. Michael's in the chat right now. He is co-founder of Falling Tower with me. We will be reviewing Squid Game, or as we like to call it, Squidbillies, with our good friend, the always cheerful and pleasant, all the way from Iowa, Kelly Park. So that is going to be really cool. And we are, no spoilers, but we're all in Halloween costumes. So you don't want to miss these Halloween costumes. And I am wearing a Halloween costume that Michael actually made for me with his own 2 bare hands. I know. He has bare hands.
Whoa. Crafts with Michael.
There's also a live video by Allison Pitt and her Star Trek Daily News. So that is going to be awesome. She does a great job and she will be joining in the fun as well. And it all starts with a special look back at Deep Space Nine's 5th season with the 7th rule. Whew. I'm exhausted just thinking about this week. Okay, fine, guys. I'll give you the answer.
It sounds fun.
The answer is obviously C, DeForest Kelley, right?
Wait, it wasn't Nichelle Nichols? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Imagine how different it would have been, though, if anyone else had been back for that episode.
It would have been cool if Nichelle came back for that one. Like if
She would have
Uhura
befriended
was, yeah, if she was the person that bridged that the gap between the two series. That would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what fan
So-
fiction's for.
Yes. Well, we all know that Scotty was also in an episode of Next Generation. That was really cool.
Shatner got the
and
movie.
He
one
did get the
other
movie.
thing. One other thing. Jerry Ryan was also nominated for Picard. I don't believe she won, but she was also nominated. So good to mention her as well. And for the Saturn Awards, and also the Saturn Awards, they said The Walking Dead won for the 10th time in a row.
Whoa.
Really?
Let me double check.
For horror. I'm like, how? Wow,
Wow.
Jeez.
that's
I mean,
a lot.
It's been
yeah.
on 10 years.
I'm just surprised that, well, I don't know. Yeah, best horror, Walking Dead.
Mhm. And I think they said 10 straight years.
Wow.
My
Crazy.
goodness. So anyway, reunification, Michael Kenyon Rosenberg mentions. Oh, of course, that was Nimoy came for that one. Very good. Awesome. Cool. I think that's it. I think we've got this week covered. Thank you very much, Katie. Thank you very much, Malissa. Thank you very much, Ryan, for reading the obvious trivia question. That they got to give some easy ones sometimes, right?
Sometimes.
Um,
Slim Pickens.
and
What?
everybody at home, check out all those things online. You can follow me on Twitter. Just type in my name, Ryan T. Husk, and I'm sure it'll pop up. Or you can do incredible_Husk. But mostly follow the Seventh Rule and Virtual TrekCon and Falling Tower. And let's all have some fun together. Thank you all very much. And when you want to see unboxing videos with crayons and giant marshmallows, put it on the main viewer.
Yay.
Weren't they colored pencils though?
Colored pencils. Yeah.